Welcome to our monthly question and answer session for this month of October. We shall begin with the first question.
Question number 1 from Annie, Indonesia. What is the meaning of not to associate with the foolish and to associate with the wise in the Mangala Sutta?
Well, it means not to be close to people who are foolish, better to be close to people who are intelligent and smart. Because people that you meet, that you associate with, will have influence on your life. If they're foolish or stupid, they'll teach you to be foolish and stupid like them. If they're wise and smart, they'll teach you to be wise and smart. So the Buddha said it's better to keep company with people who are wise and smart, and try to avoid keeping company with those who are foolish or stupid.
Question number 2. What is the advice of the Buddha for a happy marriage?
The Buddha said you need 4 qualities in order to be happy living with other people. The first one, you have to have sacrifice. You have to know to give, to share, not just to take. You have to also give. Life is both give and take. If you just only want to take, no one would want to live with you. So you have to give to your partner, just like your partner will give to you. You have to sacrifice part of your life for your partner. And your partner also has to sacrifice part of his life to you. So the first one you have to have is sacrifice or giving or charity. Second one, you have to have fidelity or honesty. You have to be honest with your partner. You must not cheat or lie. If you do, then you will break up your relationship very easily. Meaning you have to keep the 5 precepts. You have to abstain from lying, from committing adultery, from stealing from your partner. If you want anything, you should ask for permission. Okay. Then the third one is you have to know how to contain your emotion. When you're angry, you should subdue your anger. When you are greedy, you have to subdue your greedy. Don't expose them to other people, because it will make other people not happy. We don't like angry people, we don't like greedy people. So when we feel greedy, we should abstain, we should contain it, don't show it. If we're angry, we should subdue it. Fourth quality, you have to be enduring during hard time. Life is not always a bed of roses. Sometimes you have thorns, you have difficulties. So when you're in difficult times, you should try to be enduring, try to steady the course of your relationship. Yes. Sometimes people want to jump ship when things get ugly or when things get bad. But if you want to maintain a strong and lasting relationship, then you also have to be patient, enduring the hard times. If you have these 4 qualities, then your life with a partner will be happy and long-lasting.
Question number 3. And how do I know that my partner has the same 4 Dhamma qualities, the same level of faith, generosity, morality, and wisdom?
That's why you don't marry. You have engagement first, and you try to look at each other, whether they have these 4 qualities or not. Sometimes you might have to test them. You might have to go through some difficult thing to see how they react. You have to see whether they're truthful or not. You have to see the honest. You have to see whether they are charitable or not. This takes time. Like there's a saying that the distance measure a horse and time measure a person. It takes time. You have to wait and see. People don't always behave exactly the same way. In happy times, they will react one way, and in bad times, they will react another way. So you have to expose your partner to both the good and the bad times. Then you will know how he would react.
Question number 4 from Sim, Malaysia. I can sit for an hour, but after that there is an urge to stop the meditation session. How to overcome the urge to stop meditating?
You run out of mindfulness. Your mindfulness has loosened the strength to continue. So you have to regenerate your mindfulness by continuing reciting the mantra. If you use the mantra, keep reciting Bhutto, Bhutto, even when you want to feel like getting up. Resist your desire to get up by keep reciting Bhutto, Bhutto. And eventually, if you persist, then your desire or your urge to get up will disappear. And then you can continue on sitting.
Question number 5 from Lee, Malaysia. Besides calming the mind, does sitting meditation also bring other merits?
It brings happiness. If your mind is calm, you have happiness, you have contentment. It makes you have no desire for anything. Your problem is with your desire. When you have desire and you're not happy, and you have to go get what your desire wants you to get, then you have to run into all kinds of difficulties or troubles and issues. But if you can sit and meditate and you are happy and content, then you don't have to do anything. No issues, no problem with anybody. No need to spend any money. When you don't have to spend money, you don't have to go to work to earn money.
Question number 6. Can indulging in sensual pleasure frequently reduce his/her blessing and merits?
Merits and indulging are two different things. It doesn't reduce your merits, but it can increase your desire for more pleasures.
Question number 7 from Theo, Malaysia. Sometimes I thought of skipping chanting and go straight to meditation. Can I skip chanting? What is the main function and the benefit of chanting?
If you do it yourself, you can skip chanting if you don't want to. Chanting is like a precursor to your meditation. Sometimes your mind is restless because you had been working or doing something, and your mind is still occupied with those thoughts. Then you cannot concentrate on your meditation. Then you can use chanting as a way of getting rid of your restless thoughts. Because when you chant, then you cannot keep thinking about what you were occupied with. And after you chant for a while, your mind becomes calm enough to meditate. Then you can meditate. But if your mind is already calm and has no other thought to occupy with, then you can start with your meditation by watching your breath or reciting a mantra.
Question number 8. After I sit for about 20 minutes, I can feel the emptiness. Sometimes the mind can still run away, but I always can pull it back. Is this the state of samadhi?
The beginning of it, but it's not yet complete. You have to keep pulling the mind back until it no longer goes away. If it still keep going away, then you haven't reached the summit yet. So you have to keep using your mindfulness, focusing on your breath or on your mantra, and then eventually your mind will stop running away. Once it stops running away, then you don't have to do anything. You just maintain mindfulness. Just keep watching. Make sure that it doesn't. Make sure the mind doesn't go away to other places.
Question number 9 from Lo, Malaysia. Every time after I sit for about 15 minutes, my upper body feels warm and there were 3 to 4 drops of sweat down from my armpit, although the environment is not hot. Is this normal?
Yes, normally in the sitting position, the body tends to generate more heat. So you should put some clothes, some light clothing, if you feel that you are sweating a lot, and sit in a cooler place. But if you couldn't find it, then you just have to endure it. Just leave it alone. Don't let it bother you. Keep concentrating, keep meditating, keep focusing on your breath or on your mantra. When your mind becomes calm, then you won't feel bothered by the heat or by the sweat.
Question number 10 from Laurent, Paris. Is it possible for a Sotapanna or Sakidagami to be reborn in his next life near the people he loves in this life so that he can help the loved ones in the path of the Dhamma?
Well, this is something that we cannot control. We cannot pinpoint exactly when or where we want to be reborn. We can pinpoint just the general direction, like the Sotapanna and the Sakidagami can stop from being reborn in the lower realms, in the what we call the undesirable realm of existence, the realm of the animal or hungry ghost or hell. This they can stop, but they cannot say exactly when to be born, where and with whom. This is the law of karma that no one can go to manipulate. The Buddha said the law of karma is beyond anybody's ability to manage or to manipulate.
Question number 11. What advice would you give to someone who wants to dedicate his life to practice Dhamma full-time like a monk, but he decides not to do it in a monastery, but instead live alone at home on his own?
He can do that, but after a while he'll realize that he would need to go to the monastery, because if he wants to expand, if he wants to grow, practicing alone, sometimes there's a limitation because you lack the encouragement from your peers, you lack the encouragement from your teacher. It's like planting a tree in a pot. The tree can only get so big, then it can no longer grow because there would be no room for it to expand. Practicing at home by yourself, in the beginning is good. It's like a nursery, planting plants in a nursery first because they are small and they're weak. But once they grow up, become strong, you want to put them in the ground, so that they can grow bigger. It's the same way with practice. When you first start, if you feel you can practice alone and progress, you can do it. But until one day you'll find that you're no longer moving forward as much as you would like to, then you might want to seek a teacher, seek a place where you can grow more.
Question number 12. Christian, what is the name of the technique of reciting Bhutto using the in and out of the breath?
Well, there is no name. It's just a combination of two ways of developing mindfulness. Watching your breath is called anapanasati, using the in and out breath as the basis of your mindfulness. While reciting a mantra is called the recollecting on the quality of the Buddha, on the name of the Buddha. This is a way of maintaining your mind to be in the present and stop from thinking about other things. Sometimes people use both of them combined. They use Puttanusati, the recollection of the Buddha's name or his qualities, and watching the breath. So it depends on each individual practitioner how they would like to use these meditation objects. You can use the breath alone, you can recite the mantra alone, or you can combine, such as when you breathe in, you might repeat Bhut. When you breathe out, you say To, Bhut, To, Bhutto, according to your in and out breath.
Question number 13 from Shore, Singapore. I have broken the 5 precepts due to my ignorance. Is there any way to avoid the bad karma? What should I do moving forward?
What you have done, there's nothing you can do about. What you can do is to try to prevent it from breaking the precept by being more mindful. If you are mindful, you will know what you're thinking. You'll know what you're going to say. You'll know what you're going to do. So try to develop lots of mindfulness. Then you can stop your mind from saying or doing things that will break the precepts. But what you did is already past. You just have to wait for the consequence of your action.
Question number 14. I encountered in the Buddhist text that if we cherish others more than ourselves, we will soon enjoy the bliss of the Buddhahood. I found it counterintuitive to see others as more important than myself. I thought we should be equal. What is Ajahn advice on this?
Well, by sharing your happiness, by making other people happy, will make you happy. See? So this is the way, one way of making yourself happy. Yeah. If you share some food, share some money, helping people who are in need, and seeing them being happy from your own action, then it will make you feel happy. Yeah. If you don't do it, then you don't get this kind of happiness. So there are many ways of making yourself happy. Helping other people is one way. Making yourself happy by meditating, by keeping the precept is another way. But making you happy by drinking or by indulging on your sensual pleasure, this can turn into sadness because it can become addictive. And when you can treat yourself with this kind of pleasure or happiness, you will become depressed.
Question number 15. If I cannot attain jhana in this lifetime, can I bring whatever limited mindfulness I have to my future rebirth?
It depends on how much you have, how strong it is. And if you have a lot strong, then the likelihood of losing them is less than when you have very small amount. So you should try to collect as much as possible these qualities, because they will go with your mind.
Question number 16 from Winston. Is there such thing as the unconditional one, the one that is permanent and not affected by time or space, that usually refer as God?
Well, I don't want to say anything about God because I don't know. But according to Buddhism, there are conditioned things and there are unconditioned things. Conditioned things are things that are made up from the 4 elements, such as the body, the trees. These are made up from the 4 elements. But the 4 elements themselves are unconditioned. They remain the original 4 elements. They remain earth, water, fire, and air. And the 5th element also remain the same, which is the mind, the knowing element. And the 6th element is the space element. So these things, these 6 elements are considered to be unconditioned. They always remain the same.
Question number 17. The Buddha was enlightened under a Bodhi tree on the night when he was using Anapanasati meditation, but not using Satipatthana Sutta. Canท่านอาจารย์ explain?
Yes, the sutta doesn't explain the entire practice. He started with Anapanasati, which is also in the Satipatthana Sutta. Then he went on to investigate the body, the feeling, and the mind, until he eventually see them all as being impermanent, causing suffering, and has no self in them. That's when he eventually became enlightened. So he practiced the 4 Satipatthana on the night of his enlightenment. It's just that the sutta didn't go deep into the level of his practice. They just mentioned generally what he did in the beginning.
Question number 18 from Michael, Malaysia. You mentioned that citta is permanent, but I read that the Buddha described 5 khandha as impermanent. Is the citta that you mentioned the same as the 5 khandhas that the Buddha described?
No, see, the citta has the 4 khandhas, the feeling, thoughts, and memory, and awareness of the senses. These are changing, but they're always there. They never disappear because they are part of the mind that never disappear. The citta itself is always the citta, and what contains in the citta is also with the citta. The 4 khandhas, the thought, the feelings, the memory, and the awareness of the senses. They with the mind. They are impermanent in the sense that they keep changing. The thought keep changing. They keep rising and ceasing. You think about something, then you stop. This is rising and ceasing. You remember something, then you stop remembering. This is rising and ceasing. So the 4 khandhas in the 5 khandha always with the mind. They only keep changing and they are not under our control. So we cannot say that they are part of us. That's all.
Question number 19 from Suresh, India. When an object contacts our senses, which khandha react to it first? Is it the feeling, the volition, or the perception?
Awareness. First you need the awareness to receive the object. If the object comes through your eyes, then the awareness of once this goes into the mind, then the next comes the perception. This one will try to analyze or figure out what this object is. Once it knows this object is good or bad, then you have good or bad feeling arise. And once you have good or bad feeling arise, the next thing comes your thought. What should you do with this object? Should I get it or should I get rid of it?
Question number, after an undesirable situation, which khandha is responsible to the sensation in the body?
Your sankhara, your thought. When it sees something, it will react by using the thought, whether you should run away or whether you should be more careful with what you are encountering.
Question number 21. Within the 5 khandhas, where is the unwholesome quality reside?
The 5 khandha has no wholesome or unwholesome qualities. Unwholesome quality form wholesome action.
Question number 22. When there is no self in us, who is really suffering and to whom should we show compassion to?
Dhamma. So this is the purpose of practice, is to start from creating self by getting rid of the mind's delusion, causing the mind to do unwholesome things, which causes the suffering to arise. With wisdom, then the mind will teach us. The wisdom will teach the mind to do wholesome action, which will then generate good feeling. So this is how things work. It's the mind who, and it's the mind who has to get rid of its own suffering by relying on the wisdom of the Buddha.
Question number 23. Is it only the Tathagata Buddha who become an arahant on his own?
Yes, the only person in existence. Teach other people.
Betty, meat.
Buddhists can eat meat as long as the meat is not killed by them. You must not kill or order people to kill. So in order to eat the meat, killing, such as meat that is being sold in the market. If you go buy meat in the market, that meat is like vegetable as far as the Buddhist is concerned, because they no longer have life in it, in them. So it's like eating vegetable. Eating meat is like eating vegetable, because both vegetable and meat has no life in it anymore.
Question number 25 from Sammy. I always want to ordain, but I'm afraid of others being judgmental and say that I am lazy, I'm a loser, or I run away from life because I'm not successful in the worldly sense. Should I disregard what other people might say, or should I prove myself to have a worldly success first before I ordain?
If you have to prove yourself before you ordain, you might not be able to ordain. Yeah. So what other people say doesn't have anything to do with who you are and what you are. Yeah. It's your delusion, your ego that keeps being affected by other people's opinion. So what you should do is get rid of your ego, get rid of your reaction to what other people think of you. Just know who you are, what you are. If you're bad, try to be good. If you're good, keep maintaining your goodness. This is more important. Because what other people say or think cannot make you good or bad. It's you who can make yourself good or bad.
Question number 26. Is it proper for monks to have health insurance?
Well, during Buddha's time, we have no health insurance. The health insurance we have is our practice. If we have practice, we will have good health. Look at all the teachers, the enlightened teachers. They live to be 90s or 100 because they have the Dhamma practice as their insurance.
Question number 27. I have the habit of indulging in expensive, high-quality tea and incense. I did consider letting go of these habits when I was a samanen, but now as a layperson, I think those habits are harmless to spiritual life. Should I give them up altogether in favor of a more detached living?
If you can, it's better, because if you rely on something to make you happy, when you cannot get it, it can make you sad. But if you don't rely on anything to make you happy, then you will never get sad. So the goal is to become totally detached from everything. Rely on your meditation, because this you can always rely on.
Question number 28 from Kiran, India. In 2015, when I went for Goenka course, the manager told me that I was a monk in my previous life. He said I was very close to become a Sotapanna, but due to some wrongdoing to a woman, I didn't become one. And if I ever get married in this life, it will not last for a long time. I got married in 2017 and subsequently divorced in 2018, just as what the manager said. I quit my job last year and would like to ordain in Wat Yan to learn under your guidance. What would be your suggestion for me going forward?
Well, there is difficulty to be ordained here in Wat Yan, because Wat Yan is divided into two sections. To the what you call the scriptural section, which concern more with the study of the scripture, and practical section, we up here we are in the practical section, but before you can come to our place and practice, you have to come through the scriptural section, and they want you to study the scripture first if you want to ordain at Wat Yan. So if you want to come and practice here, you might have to use other way. Might have to ordain somewhere else, and then come and stay as the visitor. Then you can stay and practice with us. But if you want to be ordained at Wat Yan, then you might have to study the scriptures and stay down below and could not come up here. So this is how it works here. Is that all the question? Okay, please go on.
Question from Kun Virayut. At the meantime, I stopped working and start doing intensive Dhamma practice at home. However, I am still feeling guilty in my mind from what my parents and respective people think of me, that I was too young to stop working. How can I eliminate this kind of feeling from my mind?
Well, you have to look at the example of the noble disciples. There are many noble disciples who ordained when they were very young. They ordained as novices and became enlightened even before they become a monk. So you should disregard the opinion of people who doesn't understand the world of Buddhism, how we operate, how we live. Here we don't consider age. We consider the ability to be able to follow the teaching of the Buddha. If you can follow the teaching of the Buddha, you can practice his teaching, then it means you are ready for his teaching. It's not the age or what your family status, whether you're rich or poor. In the Buddha's time, people came from all walks of life, from all ages, from all sexes. So you should just look at yourself and see whether you are ready for his teaching or not. If you can practice following his teaching, then it means you are ready. So don't listen to what other people think or say, because they don't understand the nature of the teaching of the Buddha.
Question from Jin. Question number 1. What is the correct way to apologize for our bad karma towards the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha?
Just tell yourself that you have done wrong and try not to do it again. If you want to make it more potent, then you should punish yourself, maybe by giving money to charity to make you feel better. Every time you did something wrong to the Buddha, Dhamma, the Sangha, give money to the temple to make you feel better.
Question number 2. How can the Sambhavesi wandering spirit make merits?
They cannot. Once you die, you have to go and accept your karma, reap the fruits of your good or bad karma. Only when you become a human being, that's when you can do good or bad karma again.
And question number 3. As a Dhamma practitioner, we all have certain kind of doubts in our practice. At what level, which point of practice can be eliminated entirely?
When you become a Sotapanna, when you achieve to the first level of enlightenment. But don't be afraid of doubts, because this is just normal for ordinary human being who is still under the influence of delusion. What you can do to help you abate, eliminate, or decrease this doubt is to keep listening to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. Keep studying the teaching of the Buddha, and then your doubt and can become lessened.
Question from Kun Penpila. Please advise on how to reach the Upajara Samadhi.
Upajara Samadhi is not something we strive for. is useless as far as the practice of enlightenment is concerned. It's more for the special psychic power. Upajjara samadhi is the ability to connect with spiritual beings, the ability to recollect past lives, or have some special psychic power, which is not considered useful as far as the Buddha is concerned, because they could not get rid of your suffering. So it's no need to worry about how to get there. We don't teach how to get to Upajjara Samadhi. We teach you how to get to the Appana Samadhi, which to keep focusing on your breath, developing mindfulness all the time. Then your mind will then be able to enter into Appana Samadhi.
Question from Double G. What is the difference between spirit element and mind?
I'm not sure. This is the first time I heard. I think it's probably the same thing. Referring to the spirit or the mind is the same thing. When the mind has a body, we call it the mind. When it has no body, then we call it the spirit.
Kun Ricardo, how to deal with regret in the past and regret of not doing enough for the future?
You cannot do anything about the past. And so it's better just to forget about it. Or if you want to think about the past, use it as a lesson so that you won't repeat the same mistake again the next time. That's what you can do about thinking about the past. But you cannot go back into the past like in the movie Back to the Future, in which you can go back and change things. You cannot change what you did in the past, but you can use it as a lesson to teach you so that you won't repeat the same mistake again.
What I've been thinking about, do you know these levels of existence that there is? Do we have to pass away to go to another level of existence, or does it happen in this lifetime? Because sometimes I feel as if I'm going from one level. My mind thinks it's going from one level of existence to another, and I just wondered whether it happens in this life or whether we've got to pass away.
This lifetime you experience it right away.
Yeah.
But it's more like a ticket, so that when you die, you have a ticket that will send you to that plane of existence. Because right now, in this plane of existence, you kind of mix it. Sometimes you still you're still in this plane, and at the same time you're also enjoying the fruit of your practice that uplifts your spirit to another plane of existence. So you're actually more or less sort of having both at the same time, alternatingly. Sometimes you're in higher plane, sometimes you're still back down the plane.
I thought that,
Yeah. But once you leave this plane of existence, then when there's no body, then you will be in that particular plane of existence.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Because sometimes you feel good, you do good thing, you feel like meditating, but sometimes you feel like watching a movie.
Yeah,
so you're watching, you're shifting your plane of existence.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But when you die, you have no choice. Right now, when you're alive, you can choose.
I think that's all for today.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your questions. I hope it can help you dispel some of your doubts or misunderstanding. And if you should want to ask any more questions, please feel free to send them in, and we'll answer them the next time. In the meantime, stay focused, stay mindful, and move forward in your practice. Thank you and goodbye.